Don't touch him, the girl said, standing in the doorway with both arms out, palms shaking, eyes locked on the rifle. The man on the floor groaned and kicked, bottle rolling from his hand. He laughed once, wet and mean. The cowboy held the gun low, not aimed, not safe. He looked past the girl at the man, then back at the girl, and his jaw set hard. He ain't dead, the cowboy said. He will be, the girl said. Move, the cowboy said. No, she said. Her voice didn't rise. It didn't crack. It sat there like a rock. The man tried to stand, slipped, hit the table, and swore. The house smelled like sour drink and old smoke. A chair lay broken by the wall. You hurt her again, the cowboy said to the man. The man spat and laughed. She's mine, he said. Not tonight, the cowboy said. The man reached for the bottle. The girl stepped wider. Don't, she said. Don't touch him, the cowboy said to himself, then said it again to the room. Put it down, the cowboy said. You gonna shoot me, the man said. I don't need to, the cowboy said. The man lurched forward. The girl didn't move. The rifle stayed low. The man swung and missed, fell, and hit his head on the floor. The sound was dull. He went still. The girl stared at him. She waited. Nothing. She didn't cry. She didn't kneel. She breathed slow. The cowboy watched her watch the man. You okay? He said. She nodded once. You bleeding? He said. She shook her head. You got family? He said. She looked at the door behind him, then at the man, then back. No, she said. The cowboy lowered the rifle and leaned it against the wall. He took a step back to give her space. He listened for breathing. The man snored, thick and ugly. He's out, the cowboy said. He'll wake, she said. Not tonight, the cowboy said. They stood there with the noise of the man and the quiet around it. You a lawman, she said. No, he said. You gonna tell, she said. No, he said. You gonna leave, she said. Not without you, he said. She blinked. She swallowed. Why, she said. Because I can't, he said. The girl looked at the house. The walls were marked. The doorframe split. She touched the wood once, then dropped her hand. If I go, she said, he'll be mad. He already is, the cowboy said. He'll come find me, she said. He won't find you tonight, the cowboy said. The man groaned. The girl flinched but held. The cowboy stepped between them without raising the gun. Get your coat, he said. She didn't move. Get your coat, he said again, softer. She went to the back room, came back with a thin jacket. She stood at the door. The cowboy opened it. Cold air came in. He paused on the porch and listened to the house settle. The girl stood beside him, too close, not touching. You sure, she said. He nodded. You got shoes, he said. She shook her head. He took his coat off, knelt, and slid it over her feet. Don't look back, he said. She didn't. The man coughed inside. The sound chased them. The cowboy lifted the rifle again, not to aim, just to carry, and stepped into the dark. The road waited, empty and quiet, and the girl matched his steps, breath tight, eyes forward, while the house behind them kept its secrets, breathing slow, pretending nothing had changed. That night. Chapter 2. You can stay tonight. They crossed the threshold and the girl stopped, like the floor might bite. The cowboy shut the door slow. No lock turned. Just wood on frame. The room was bare. Table. Stove. One chair. No pictures. No noise. She held her coat tight. You hungry? He said. I don't eat at night, she said. You do here, he said. She didn't move. He set a pan on the stove anyway. Water. Salt. That was it. You can sit, he said. She stayed standing. You can stand too, he said. She nodded. What's your name, he said. Don't got one, she said. Everyone's got one, he said. He used it when he was mad, she said. Then don't use it, he said. She watched his hands. He kept them open. No sudden turns. No raised voice. He slid the bowl across the table. Eat, he said. She stared at it. If I don't, she said. Then it gets cold, he said. She ate fast, eyes never leaving him. You hurt, he said. I hide, she said. He waited. When he drinks, she said. He hits walls, she said. Then me, she said. He nodded once. Rules, he said. She stiffened. No lies, he said. No drinking, he said. No shouting, he said. She frowned. What if I shout, she said. Then I leave the room, he said. What if you drink, she said. I won't, he said. What if you lie, she said. Then you call me on it, he said. She pushed the bowl away. You gonna send me back, she said. Tomorrow, she said. No, he said. Ever, she said. He didn't answer. He stood and put the bowl in the sink. Water ran. Too loud. He turned it down. There's a bed, he said. She shook her head. Floor's fine, she said. He brought a blanket. He set it down and stepped back. Light stays on, he said. Door stays open, she said. It stays open, he said. He washed his hands slow and dried them on his pants. He didn't touch her. He didn't pace. He sat and waited like waiting was a job. You safe here, he said. She didn't answer. You can leave any time, he said. She blinked once. Where, she said. Anywhere, he said. She watched the ceiling. It creaked. She counted the sounds. 1 board. 2 boards. Wind. A truck far off. Her body stayed ready. If you scream, he said, I'll come. If you don't, he said, I'll still come. She turned her head a little. You swear, she said. I swear, he said. He set his hat on the table and pushed it away from him. No one had ever pushed anything away for her. She pressed her ear to the floor. The house talked back. Pipes. Heat. Old nails. It felt alive. It felt mean and calm at the same time. She breathed with it. He watched the door. He watched the window. He watched nothing move. Outside, the dark settled deeper, and the quiet pressed close, like it was listening too, waiting for one of them to make a sound first. Neither of them moved at all. The night kept count. In silence. She lay on the floor, stiff as wood. He sat in the chair, hat off, rifle leaned far away. You gonna sleep, he said. I listen, she said. To what, he said. To footsteps, she said. He stayed quiet. Minutes passed. The stove clicked. The house held its breath. If he comes, she said. He won't tonight, he said. If he does, she said. Then I'm here, he said. Her eyes stayed open. The light hummed. The night pressed close outside. She pulled the blanket up to her chin and did not sleep, but she stayed. Morning didn't knock. It pushed in through the thin window and landed on the girl's face. She didn't move. She'd stayed awake all night, counting the sounds until they lost shape. The cowboy stood at the stove, back turned, coffee dark and bitter. He hadn't slept either. He heard the crunch of tires before the engine cut. That's him, she said. He didn't ask who. He nodded once. The knock was sharp. Law knock. Open up, a voice said. The cowboy opened the door halfway. The badge caught the light. Too clean. Too bright. Morning, the sheriff said. She ain't yours, he said, looking past him. She ain't his either, the cowboy said. The sheriff smiled thin. Folks talk, he said. They always do, the cowboy said. The girl stayed back, half hidden, watching through the crack. The sheriff's eyes slid to her and stuck. You the man who took her, he said. I'm the man standing here, the cowboy said. You hiding something, the sheriff said. Yeah, the cowboy said. Decency. The sheriff stepped closer. Smelled the coffee. Smelled the quiet. You know who her father is, he said. I know who he ain't, the cowboy said. The sheriff's smile faded. This ain't your land to fix, he said. Then don't break it, the cowboy said. Behind them, voices drifted from the road. A woman. 2 men. A laugh cut short. The girl felt it then. The weight. Eyes. The town leaning in without moving. She backed away and slipped the folded paper from her pocket. Old. Creased. Stolen from under a mattress. She held it tight like it might run. The sheriff tipped his hat. This won't stay quiet, he said. It never does. He turned and walked back to his car. Gravel popped. The engine coughed. Gone. The cowboy shut the door. He leaned his forehead against it for a second. You okay? He said. She nodded. They know, she said. They notice, he said. Later, they went into town. He needed supplies. She stayed close, eyes down. Every step felt loud. The store went quiet when they entered. A woman whispered. Trouble, someone said. Not soft enough. The girl's stomach twisted. She felt the letter burn in her pocket. A man blocked the aisle. Morning, he said. Morning, the cowboy said. You takin' strays now, the man said. He shrugged. They find me, he said. Outside, a truck slowed. A boy stared. A woman crossed the street. The girl pulled at the cowboy's sleeve. Can we go, she said. Almost, he said. Back at the house, she sat on the floor and unfolded the paper. The cowboy watched from the table. What's that? He said. Nothing, she said. He didn't push. She read it again. Words she didn't fully get. Debt. Owed favors. A name she knew from the road signs and the way people lowered their voices. A family everyone nodded to. Her hands shook. She folded it back up. They'll come back, she said. Yeah, he said. Why me, she said. He looked at her. Because you're standing, he said. Because you didn't move. She went to the window. A car passed slow. Then another. The house felt smaller. Like it was being measured. The girl pressed her back to the wall and slid down. They'll make you give me up, she said. They can try, he said. He sat across from her, not touching. If I run, she said. They'll chase, he said. If I stay, she said. They'll stare, he said. She pulled the letter out again. Her fingers traced the name. Her father's handwriting was angry and small. This is why, she said. He leaned forward. Let me see, he said. She held it to her chest. Not yet, she said. Outside, the road stayed busy. Tires. Voices. A laugh too loud. The town didn't shout. It leaned. It watched. It waited. The girl folded the letter tighter and whispered, like the walls might hear. They won't let it go, she said. From the porch, the cowboy looked out and set it back to the empty road, steady and flat. I know. Chapter 4, What He Left Her. She unfolded the letter with both hands like it might tear itself apart if she rushed it. The paper was thin, old, soft from being hidden too long. The cowboy sat across from her at the table, elbows off, hands still. He didn't speak. He waited. "It's his," she said. "I know," he said. "He wrote it when he was sober," she said. "That don't make it clean," he said. She read out loud because the words felt heavier inside her head. Owed money. Promises. A woman's name crossed out once, then written again harder. Shame sat in every line. Fear too. He was scared, she said. Of losing drink, the cowboy said. Of her, she said. He went quiet. Your mama, he said. He said she was weak, the girl said. He's wrong, the cowboy said. She didn't look up. He said she ran, she said. Or was taken, the cowboy said. Or was buried quiet, the girl said. The cowboy's jaw tightened. There's a name, she said, tapping the page. One people bow to, she said. One that owns half the road, she said. The cowboy leaned in just enough to see. His eyes flicked once. Then again. He knew it. He didn't say it. That family don't write letters, he said. They make visits. She swallowed. He owed them, she said. He always owed someone, the cowboy said. The girl folded the letter and pressed it flat on the table. If they know I'm here, she said. They already know, he said. Why didn't you burn it, she said. He shrugged. Maybe he wanted you to see, he said. Maybe he wanted someone else to, she said. She stood and paced once, then stopped. This ain't just him, she said. It never is, the cowboy said. She stared at the stove. At the wall behind it. At a nail where something used to hang. If I keep this, she said. They'll come, he said. If I don't, she said. They'll still come, he said. He reached for a match. He didn't ask. He struck it once. The flame jumped fast. He held the letter over the sink. You sure, he said. She nodded. He let the fire eat the edge. The paper curled. The ink darkened. The name stayed longer than the rest. Stop, she said. He stopped. The flame bit his finger. He didn't pull back. He shook it out and set the match down. She took the letter back, half gone, half there. He couldn't let it burn all the way, she said. He looked at his finger. I don't finish things like that, he said. The room felt close. The house listened. Outside, a car passed slow. Then slowed more. She folded the burned paper again. If they ask, she said. I'll say nothing, he said. If they threaten you, she said. I'll stay, he said. If they hurt you, she said. He didn't answer. He stood and moved the rifle closer to the table. She watched him. You did this before, she said. He froze. What, he said. Took someone in, she said. Tried to fix it, she said. He breathed out through his nose. Yeah, he said. And, she said. And I failed, he said. She nodded like that fit. That makes sense, she said. He looked at her sharp. Why, he said. Because you didn't leave, she said. That's not fixing, he said. It's choosing, she said. He sat back down. The letter sat between them like a wound. Outside, the light shifted. The town kept moving. Somewhere, someone talked too quiet. He reached for the letter again. Not to burn it. Just to move it. He slid it into his pocket. We'll decide later, he said. She watched the pocket. Decide what, she said. How much truth to carry, he said. She leaned back against the wall. Her legs shook. He didn't tell her to sit. He didn't tell her to be still. He let her feel it. From the road came the sound of another engine slowing. The girl closed her eyes once. When she opened them, the house felt older. Like it remembered things neither of them had said yet. Chapter 5: Fire Makes Enemies. The barn burned before they even saw the men. Smoke curled into the sky like fingers, thick and dark. The cowboy froze on the porch, rifle in hand. The girl's hands trembled at her sides. Ash drifted down like snow. The heat pressed against them through the open door. "Accident," the sheriff said, standing at the edge of the field. "No," the cowboy said. The sheriff squinted. He didn't look like a man who asked twice. "Someone's angry," he said. He nodded. "They all are," the cowboy said. The girl screamed. Not loud at first. A sound like splitting wood. Then it ripped through her chest, carried across the yard. He spun to her, hands out. "They want you gone," she said, pointing at the fire. "They'll wait," he said. The men in the shadows shifted. The sheriff didn't move. Two town women stood across the road, arms crossed. Silent. Judging. Curious. Ash fell onto their shoulders, onto the ground. Their faces didn't flinch. The girl gripped the cowboy's sleeve. He felt her squeeze like a lifeline. They moved toward the barn. The heat burned their skin, but he didn't flinch. He carried tools, dragging them into place, hands steady. "You want to stop it," she said. He shook his head. "Not yet," he said. "Let them see it. Let them remember why they left it alone before." Flames licked the roof. Smoke thickened. He kicked at the ground, dragging a hook through the dirt. The girl watched each movement, every small motion. "You're mad," she said. "I'm protecting you," he said. "You could get burned," she said. "I've been burned," he said. From across the road, the sheriff's voice cracked the air. "Step back," he said. He did not move. The fire roared. The night didn't come yet. The smoke smelled of hay and old timber, of things left to rot. The girl looked at him. "Why?" She said. "Because they think they own this," he said. "Because they think they own you," she said. "Exactly," he said. "They do not," she said. "They will try," he said. "They already have," she said. He nodded once, eyes fixed on the barn. A beam cracked and fell. Sparks shot up like broken stars. The girl shrank against his side. He didn't look at her. He only moved the hook again, steady and deliberate. "They'll talk about this," she said. "Let them," he said. "Let them remember who stood here," she said. He didn't answer. Ash fell in her hair. She brushed it off. Quietly, she said, they watched from the road. "I know," he said. The women across the street, silent, arms crossed. "I see them," he said. Their faces pale in the light of the fire. The girl's fingers dug into his sleeve. He didn't flinch. Smoke stung their eyes. He grabbed a lantern and tossed it near the far side, small fire to keep the bigger one moving. She gasped. "Careful," she said. "I am," he said. The barn's roof began to sag. The sound of snapping would split the air. The girl wanted to run inside, to stop it, to scream more. "Don't," he said. "Not yet." She stayed pressed close. The fire pulsed. Heat radiated like warning. The men in the shadows shifted. They didn't approach. The sheriff stayed quiet. The women watched. The girl gripped his sleeve tighter. He did not move. He did not speak. Ash drifted down. Every piece of debris from the roof, from the hay, from the walls, fell slowly like judgment. She held his sleeve like it was the only solid thing left. He let her. The barn burned through the night. And when the last spark settled, the wind blew the ash across the field. The girl exhaled slow. He wiped a streak of soot from his cheek and looked at her. "It's done," he said. She didn't move. The fire was gone, but its weight stayed. Ash on her hair. Ash on her hands. Ash in her chest. Outside, the women disappeared down the road. The sheriff left too. The men melted into the shadows. The girl stayed pressed against him. He felt her shiver. He didn't ask. He didn't tell her to let go. The field was quiet again. The house behind them dark. The barn only smoke and memory. She looked up at him. "What now?" she said. "Nothing," he said. "Nothing but watch." Ash continued to drift, soft and slow, across the field. She gripped his sleeve and let the quiet hold them both. The girl woke with a weight in her chest she didn't recognize. The cowboy stirred at the table, coffee gone cold, elbows on the wood. Morning smelled like ash and damp. The barn had burned. The town whispered. She felt it in her bones before she even moved. "I don't want to be like her," she said, voice low. He looked up. "Who?" he said. "The woman from the letter," she said. "The one who left. The one who never came back." She traced a line along the wood grain of the table. "You won't," he said. Her hands trembled. Something was different. Red on the sheet she hadn't seen. She pulled back the blanket. She felt it flow, slow and hot. She didn't speak. He noticed. She swallowed. "It's natural," he said. "Natural don't mean easy," she said. "No," he said. She stood, swaying. She went to the window, hand pressed to the sill. Outside, the field glowed gray. Ash still hung from the burned barn. The wind carried a whisper of smoke. A man passed on the road. She flinched and pressed herself against the wood. "I have to tell you something," she said. He nodded. "A man from town," she said. She trailed off. He touched her shoulder. "Did you say yes?" he said. "I said nothing," she said. His jaw went tight. She shook her head. "Don't move," he said. She didn't. The house felt heavier. Walls leaned closer. The floorboards creaked beneath them, louder than usual. She swallowed. "I think he waited." "Pregnant," she said. He nodded, slowly. The room was quiet. Too quiet. She felt the air pressing in. She felt it pressing down. He moved to the stove and set a pot of water on it. Coffee would have been bitter, but he didn't make it. Just waited. Just watched. "You know what to do," he said. "I think so," she said. She went to the corner, tracing the pattern of old nails on the wall. Every mark held a memory. Every scratch, a warning. She pressed a hand to the wall. "I'm scared," she said. "I know," he said. "I'm not scared enough," she said. He didn't answer. He never did. She looked at the rifle in the corner. She imagined it in her hands. Could do, she thought. Shouldn't do, she thought. He caught her eye. "It's not yours to hold," he said. She nodded. She felt the tremor run through her. She clenched her fists. The letters she'd stolen, burned halfway, held in her pocket. She felt them press against her thigh. Names. Threats. Favors owed. Power hidden in ink. She didn't know if she could carry it or if it would carry her. A knock at the door. Sharp. Polite. Expecting. She froze. He froze. "Who?" she whispered. "Don't answer yet," he said. She stayed pressed against the wall. The knock came again, firmer. She could hear the boots shift. She could hear the soft exhale of breath, calculated. He moved slowly to the door. Hand on the latch. The girl's fingers dug into the wood behind her. Outside, nothing moved. Ash drifted from the burned barn in lazy spirals. The wind carried the smell of smoke and the memory of heat. The knock came once more. He opened the door slightly, enough to see. Sunlight glinted off badges she didn't recognize. Polite faces, smiling too clean. Their eyes measured her. Not the way people look at you when you're alive. The way they look when they're deciding if you can stay. They said hello. We're here to help, they said. He didn't move. You already did, he said. She pressed closer, listening. Words between them floated in the doorway. Money. Silence. Relocation. Offers. Threats. He didn't answer. She didn't move. You ain't her father, one said. No, he said. I stayed, the cowboy said. That's all. The girl leaned on the wall. The letters burned halfway in her pocket. Ash floated in through the cracks. She breathed slow. Threats, offers, warnings, they hung in the air. She didn't flinch. I'm keeping it, she said. The words escaped without hesitation. He stepped back from the door. They didn't press further. The sun fell across the floorboards. She pressed her hand to her stomach. Bloodline, she whispered. The cowboy nodded. Outside, the wind carried the smell of smoke, of ash, of old power that could not touch her inside these walls. The knock had stopped. Silence pressed against the house. She exhaled, slow. He didn't move. She turned her head to the corner and pressed herself to the wall. The letters burned quietly. The world outside waited. And inside, she felt the weight of what was coming, heavy and sharp and hers to bear. The knock came just after lunch. Sharp, deliberate. The girl had her hands pressed together, knuckles white. The cowboy didn't move at first. He let it go for one more knock, then stepped to the door. Outside stood men in clean clothes. Ties pressed. Polished boots. Smiles too wide. They carried the kind of calm that made people bend without knowing why. We can help, one said, voice smooth, eyes too bright. The cowboy didn't answer. You already did, he said. They shifted. Outside, the sun leaned down, casting long lines across the porch. The girl pressed closer to the wall, hand on the burned letters in her pocket. We offer relocation, money, quiet, the man said. He glanced at the girl, as if she were a thing to negotiate. She stiffened. The cowboy's hand tightened on the doorframe. You ain't her father, the man said, smiling again. No, he said. I stayed. That's enough, the cowboy said. The girl's stomach twisted. Threats were there, carefully hidden behind politeness. They didn't say names. They didn't need to. She felt the weight of the letter burning lightly in her pocket. You will comply, one said. No, the cowboy said. You will, the other said. He lifted his chin. We decide what's best, they said. Not here, he said. The girl stepped forward. I'm keeping it, she said. The words came faster than thought. The letters dug into her thigh, hot and pressing. One man's eyes widened. The other's jaw tightened. Outside, the wind shifted. Ash from the burned barn drifted along the road. They smiled politely. I see, they said. But they didn't leave. Their weight pressed the air, stretched it. The girl clenched her hands. She could feel it, the history, the power, the control. They wanted her quiet. They wanted her like every other piece of property. The cowboy didn't flinch. He didn't speak. He just shifted his stance, wider, solid. I won't let you take her, he said quietly. That was enough. Silence stretched between them. The wind carried dust, carried smoke from the barn, carried the sound of ash against the porch boards. One man stepped closer. Polite, careful. You're making this hard, he said. The girl pressed herself closer to the wall. "You're making it yours," the cowboy said. "You think you can dictate who stays and who goes," the man said. "Not here," he said. He touched the girl lightly on her shoulder. "Stay back," he said. The letters burned lightly in her pocket. They pressed her stomach, her history, the threat of everything to come. She held it tighter. They leaned in just enough to measure. She didn't flinch. "I said I'm keeping it," she repeated. The wind shifted again. Ash spiraled past the edges of the porch. The polite men smiled, smaller now, less confident. They knew the weight they faced wasn't in their suit jackets or badges or whispered threats. It was here. In her. In him. In the fire that had burned the barn, in the silence that followed. It was a line drawn on the ground no one else could cross. The girl breathed slow, pressing her hand against her stomach. The cowboy leaned slightly toward her. Outside, the air pressed down. They wanted witnesses. She would be one. She would be loud in the quiet. Finally, they stepped back. The girl could hear the soft shuffle of boots retreating. The wind carried the smoke from the barn along the road, drifting past fences and fields. She didn't release the letters. She didn't move until the sound of tires faded completely. She turned to the cowboy. "They'll come back," she said. "They always do," he said. "I don't care," she said. He nodded once, slow, approving. Outside, the house sat in its quiet, walls leaning in, listening. Inside, she pressed the letters to her chest, her stomach, holding the weight of every threat, every offer, every expectation. "We'll stay," he said. She nodded. The letters burned lightly, pressing against her hand. Ash drifted through the cracks of the porch. Outside, the world waited. Inside, they held the ground, solid and quiet, and she repeated it silently to herself, "I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it." The house seemed to breathe with her, walls heavy and knowing. They had nowhere to hide. She had everything to hold. The girl led the way through the tall grass, each step slow, careful. The well waited at the edge of the property, old and lined with stone, moss growing in dark patches. The cowboy followed, hands brushing the tops of the weeds, rifle slung low, eyes scanning the edges of the trees. The letters rested in her pocket, heavy against her side. "I chose wrong once," he said, voice low. She glanced at him. "What do you mean?" she said. "A woman," he said. "Someone I should have protected. I didn't." She pressed her hand against the rough wood of the well. "Then choose now," she said. He looked down at her, eyes tired, unyielding. He nodded. The wind moved in lazy spirals, carrying ash from the burned barn and the smell of wet earth. She unbuttoned her coat and pulled the half-burned letters free. The paper felt thin, almost fragile, but the words on them were sharp and heavy. She unfolded them carefully, tracing the names and debts. "They'll come," she said. He leaned against the wooden rim of the well. "Let them," he said. "They won't see what's inside until it's too late." She glanced down at the dark water. It reflected the gray sky, nothing else. "Drop them," she said. He waited. Slowly, she let the letters slip. The paper caught briefly on the wind before disappearing into the water with a soft splash. Silence followed. Only the wind moved. Only the distant crow cawed. She pressed both hands against the stone rim and stared at the black water. It didn't move. Nothing stirred. The world seemed paused. She felt the weight lift slightly from her chest. Not all of it, she realized. Not nearly all. He shifted. "You know they'll ask," he said. She didn't respond. "They'll want the letters, the debts, the truths," he said. "Let them ask," she said. "Let them learn that some truths sink," he said. "They sink deep." The cowboy's eyes dropped to the well again. He touched the water's edge lightly. He could feel the past settle there. He could feel his failures and her burdens mixing in the dark. The wind whispered through the weeds, carrying the faint smell of smoke and ash. He didn't speak for a long time. "I'm ready," she said, finally. He looked at her, noting the resolve in her posture. She pressed a hand against the stone. It felt alive, old, knowing. It had seen the weight of every letter, every secret, every debt. It would see theirs too. The girl turned slightly. "I won't let them touch it," she said. He nodded. "You've learned well," he said. She clenched her fists and pressed them to her stomach. The letters were gone, but the weight remained. Ash and smoke and old threats still clung to her. She felt it in her veins. The wind shifted again, soft now, carrying the scent of wet earth and burned wood. He stepped back from the well, hands in pockets, rifle low. The girl traced the rim with one hand and whispered, "It's watching." He didn't answer. He only watched her, steady and silent, letting her carry what she needed to carry. Time passed slowly. The sun dropped toward the horizon, long shadows stretching across the field. They stood together, side by side, neither speaking. The well held the letters. The weight sank deep. The world beyond the property waited, but here, at the edge of the field, only the well mattered. Finally, she stepped back, brushing her hands on her coat. He followed, not rushing, not looking away. The girl held herself tall, stomach pressed tight, letters gone but their meaning lingering. The field was quiet except for the wind. The ashes from the barn had drifted far, but their smell still clung to the edges of the property. The house loomed behind them. Its windows dark, walls heavy, listening. They walked back slowly, shoulders squared, the cowboy never touching her, letting her carry her own weight. The letters were gone. The threats remained. The power of the past rested at the bottom of the well. And the girl whispered again, voice low but steady, "It's watching." The cowboy didn't respond. He didn't need to. The well held the past. She held the present. They moved forward together, toward the house, toward the waiting night, toward whatever would come next. Silence wrapped around them, heavy and knowing, and the field seemed to exhale as they passed. The first contraction hit while the girl was standing by the stove, pressing a hand to her stomach. She froze, gasping. The cowboy was already there, hands on her shoulders, steady, solid. "Don't move," he said. She shook her head, teeth clenched. Pain ripped through her in waves, sharp and relentless. "No doctors," she said. He shook his head. "None. We do this ourselves," he said. She pressed her forehead against the counter, breathing fast, shallow, trying to measure each second. Screams built in her chest, threatening to break loose. "Breathe," he said. "Don't leave," she said. "I won't," he said. Outside, the wind carried distant voices. Town women on the road, whispers. They refused to come. She knew it. She heard it. Their judgment was loud in its absence. She gritted her teeth. She didn't care. Hands on her hips, he guided her gently, never raising his voice. Each wave of pain drew a gasp. "You got this," he said. "You're strong," she said. "Not enough," she said. "It's enough," he said. "You keep going," she said. "I'll stay," he said. The house smelled of sweat and old wood. Ash from the burned barn drifted in through the cracks of the window, settling on the floorboards. She pressed against the counter again, gripping it tight. Every creak, every moan of the floor under them, every small sound outside, was magnified in the quiet house. "It's coming," he said. She nodded, jaw tight. Another contraction. She cried out, leaning into him. "I can't," she said. "You can," he said. "You already have." Her breath hitched. Pain tore down her back. She pressed her hands to her stomach, fists white. "Push," he said. She pushed. She screamed. He held her hips steady. She pushed again. The world narrowed to the room, to the floorboards, to the sound of her own voice. Minutes stretched, collapsed, and reshaped. She cried, sweat running down her face, hair stuck to her neck. He didn't flinch. He didn't look away. Only hands, only guidance, only solid presence. Breathe, he said. Don't stop, she said. I won't, he said. The door rattled. The wind shook the frame. Outside, the women whispered louder now. They said she did it to herself. Open the door, someone said. No, he said. They'll watch. Let them, she said, voice raw. He nodded, steadying her again. Another push. Her body shook. Pain collided with determination. She screamed, then gasped. He leaned in, whispering over her, not asking, not directing. Just there. The baby came, small, wet, quiet at first. Then a cry, raw and piercing. She clutched it to her chest. It gasped. Her own chest heaved. She pressed her forehead to the baby's, whispering, "You're here." "I'm here." He watched, silent, hand resting lightly on her shoulder. No one else had come. No one else had tried. She had. The cries settled into small whimpers, then tiny breaths. Outside, the wind carried the sound of the town's quiet judgment. Inside, she held her newborn. She didn't look up. She didn't speak. She just breathed with the child in her arms. Minutes passed. Silence returned to the house, heavy, deep, meaningful. Ash still drifted through the cracks. The smell of sweat, smoke, and old wood lingered. She didn't release the baby. He didn't move. They both waited, listening to the slow, steady rhythm of new life in the quiet house. The baby's eyes fluttered. Her hand pressed lightly against its back. The cowboy leaned against the table, rifle low, watching, ready for anything. The world outside waited. Inside, only breath, only warmth, only survival. The first cries had ended, replaced by the fragile piece of what had been accomplished together. She whispered, soft and raw, "I did it." He nodded once, quiet, letting the moment hold them. The baby moved in her arms, chest rising and falling. Outside, the wind moved through the field. Inside, they were alone. The labor was done. The fight had begun. Chapter 10. No one else would. The baby didn't breathe at first. Her arms shook as she held it tight, pressing it to her chest. The town women had stepped back, their faces pale, hands crossed, judgment in every pause. "It's wrong," one whispered. The cowboy's hands hovered over her shoulders, uncertain, steadying nothing. "It's dead," another said. She didn't flinch. She pressed the small body against her, rocking lightly. "I'm here," she whispered, voice trembling but firm. "You hear me?" She didn't look up at him. She didn't look out the window. Only the baby mattered. Ash drifted in through the cracks, soft against her hair, and she didn't notice. He knelt beside her. "Don't let go," he said. She didn't. He glanced at the women in the doorway. They murmured. He didn't respond. He didn't move them. The room smelled of sweat, old wood, and ash. Silence pressed in heavy, almost solid. She whispered again. Tiny breaths, come on, she said. Her lips brushed the baby's forehead. She counted slow in her mind. 1, 2, 3. She pressed, shifted, whispered, breathed. She didn't panic. She didn't scream. Only whispered. The cowboy stayed beside her. He had his hands near, ready. He let her do it. No one else would. Outside, the wind carried quiet judgment. Inside, she pressed her face to the small body and whispered, "You're safe." "I'm here." The baby gasped. Just once. Tiny, fragile. She rocked harder. Again, just a soft sound. The cowboy exhaled slowly. He didn't speak. She pressed her lips again to the baby's hair. "You're here," she said. "You hear me?" Breath came in small, shallow waves. She adjusted the baby in her arms, pressing it tighter, rocking slowly. The women in the doorway watched, hesitant. The house seemed to exhale. Ash floated down through the cracked window, silent witness to the small life in her arms. She whispered its name, though no one had said it yet. She pressed her cheek to the baby's head. The cowboy sat back slightly, leaning against the wall, arms crossed, eyes fixed on them. He didn't offer words. Words weren't needed. The baby gasped again, stronger this time, chest rising, tiny fists curling. She smiled through tears. One hand pressed to its back, one against its tiny head. "I've got you," she said. "I've got you." Outside, the wind shifted. Silence pressed against the walls of the house. The smell of smoke lingered. The room was hot, thick with tension, with sweat, with relief. She breathed deep, letting the small cries guide her own rhythm. Finally, she leaned back against the wall, the baby still in her arms. She smiled through tears, soft, trembling, proud. He watched. He didn't speak. Outside, the world waited. Inside, the girl held life in her arms that no one else had the courage to hold. Ash drifted lightly to the floorboards. The house creaked. She pressed her forehead to the baby's and whispered again, "You hear me? I'll hold you." And in that moment, everything else, the judgment, the threats, the fear, faded away, leaving only the small, fragile heartbeat in her arms. Chapter 11: Reckoning. The knock came soft at first, hesitant. The sheriff. His boots whispered on the porch. The cowboy didn't move. The girl pressed the baby tighter to her chest, eyes narrowed, alert. Outside, the wind carried the smell of smoke and ash from the burned barn. "This won't go away," the sheriff said. His voice was softer now, uncertain. The cowboy leaned against the table, arms crossed. "Good," he said. The sheriff hesitated, looking at the girl and the baby. She didn't flinch. He didn't ask her to. Town women arrived shortly after. Silent. Carrying food, carrying judgment, carrying their own questions. Shame weighed heavy in their eyes. They placed dishes on the table without a word. The girl pressed the baby tighter. The cowboy let her. The remaining letter rested on the table. He picked it up, slow, deliberate. Handed it to her. It was charred on one edge, ink faded but legible. She didn't open it. She didn't need to. She felt the weight of every word, every debt, every thread it carried. "Step forward," he said quietly. She did. Baby in arms, standing tall despite exhaustion, despite fear. Outside, the sun leaned down across the porch, long and warm. The house exhaled around them, old wood settling, listening. The sheriff's eyes flicked between them. He wanted compliance. He wanted silence. He wanted the power he carried with the badge. The cowboy didn't offer it. She didn't either. They both held the ground. The women murmured, carrying plates, watching. They left shame in their wake. She didn't move. She didn't ask for help. She had done everything already. The baby pressed against her chest, breathing steady now, life held tight and sure. He handed the girl the letter. "Take it," he said. She pressed it to her stomach, the baby, the weight of it all. No one else had the courage. No one else would. She had. She held it. They had. The sheriff shifted. The men behind him, polite, polished, waited. The governor's reach had been felt. Names whispered in the dark. Power threatened in words and silence. The girl didn't flinch. She held the baby. That was enough. The cowboy leaned slightly toward her. Not center. Not owner. Just there. Support. Witness. Silent affirmation. Outside, the wind moved through the field, soft now, carrying the ashes from the barn far across the property. "Step forward," he said again. She did. Eyes steady. Chest rising and falling. Baby safe. Letter held. ground solid beneath them. He let her stand. She had everything they couldn't take. The sheriff left without another word. Town women lingered, then disappeared down the road. Ash drifted in through the cracks, settling on the floorboards like quiet applause. The house seemed to release a sigh, old wood heavy with relief and witness. She looked at the cowboy. He nodded. "That's all," he said. She pressed the baby to her chest again, whispering, soft, determined, "You're safe. I'm here." Outside, the road waited. Inside, they held the space. The letters, the threats, the power, they existed, but they could not reach them here. The girl stayed in place. Baby in arms. Ground beneath her. Walls listening. Smoke settling. Ash drifting. The cowboy watched, steady. Outside, the wind carried quiet. Inside, reckoning had been done. They had survived it. They had held. Chapter 12 held. The morning was still. The porch creaked under their weight, old wood settling. The girl stood with the baby pressed to her chest, eyes steady, calm but raw from everything that had come before. The cowboy sat nearby, back against the railing, rifle leaned away, hat tipped low. He didn't claim center. She did. The world beyond the house had retreated. The sheriff gone. The governor's men gone. Town women nowhere in sight. Silence pressed in, thick and warm. Ash from the barn drifted along the field, settling on the fence, on the porch, on the girl's hair. She pressed her cheek to the baby's, whispering soft, steady, deliberate. "I'll hold you. You're safe. You hear me?" The small chest rose and fell, a fragile rhythm that held more weight than any law, any threat, any hand of power that had tried to reach them. The cowboy watched her, not interfering, not stepping forward. His role had been clear all along: presence, protection, witness. Not ownership. Not control. Just quiet, steady strength. He exhaled slowly, letting the morning light touch his face. She rocked the baby gently. Outside, the wind moved through the field, rustling grass, carrying the smell of wet earth, ash, and smoke. The well at the edge of the property remained quiet, undisturbed, holding its secrets deep. The fire pit, cold now, held nothing but memory. "What now?" she asked, voice soft, tentative, yet commanding in its own way. "Now we live," he said. She smiled through the tension, tears still glistening on her cheeks. Life had returned to its small rhythms, breathing, holding, being. She shifted slightly, rocking the baby in her arms. Its tiny fingers curled around hers, pressing in, anchoring them both. The house exhaled. The walls held every secret, every threat, every letter, every scream. They were witness now, quiet and enduring. The baby slept. She pressed her forehead to its, whispering in soft murmurs. "I'll hold you. I won't let go. No one else would. No one else could." She had the strength they lacked. The cowboy leaned back, watching her, listening to the subtle rise and fall of life she cradled. Time settled around them. The sun moved higher, brushing across the porch, across the field, across the ashes of the barn. Shadows stretched long and quiet. The wind carried nothing but calm. The girl adjusted the blanket around the baby, pressed it tighter to her chest. Outside, the world waited, but here, on the porch, in the house that had held them through fire, threats, and loss, she felt solid. She was whole, even if broken had been everywhere before. The cowboy finally tipped his hat back, letting light touch his face, a silent acknowledgement of what had survived, what had endured. No words were needed. They both understood. Protection had shifted. Power had bent. Silence had broken. She whispered again to the baby, slow and deliberate. "I'll hold you. Through everything. Through the fire, through the threats, through the ash and the letters and the past. Here, now, you are safe." And in the quiet house, on the worn porch, with the well watching from the edge of the property and the fire pit cold but remembered, she held the small life that had arrived when no one else would. She held it. And she would continue to hold it. The field stretched out, quiet. The house stood firm. Ash drifted slowly in the wind. And the girl, baby in arms, whispered once more, soft and steady, the last word carrying the weight of every choice they had made, "I'll hold you."